Welcome to Glow and Grow Sessions. I'm your co-host, Lynn, business owner and award-winning boudoir photographer specializing in women empowerment.
And I'm your co-host, Kailyn, business owner, hair and makeup professional, and content creator.
We worked together for years in the studio, providing a safe space for women to be vulnerable, gain confidence, learn to love their bodies, and self-explore.
The women that had come to our studio all have a story that they have shared with us. Our intention for this podcast is to extend that safe space to share those stories. We'll explore topics like overcoming internal fears, nurturing self-worth, and embracing self-love.
We believe in the power of showing up for yourself, and we're here to guide you through that journey. Join us as we dive deep into empowering conversations to uplift and inspire you.
Let's glow and grow together.
Hello, thank you for joining us today for this episode. We are going to introduce ourselves a little further and share the story of basically how we met, and then how meeting immediately became friends.
Yeah.
Basically. Like
Immediate friendship.
Immediate friendship. So we worked, started working together, all the things, and then how we kind of came to making this podcast. We want to give you guys a little backstory of us and how we got here.
I think this is really important for the listeners that don't know us already. I know that we're probably going to have a good amount of women who already know us, and maybe they still don't even know the beginnings of our friendship and our career together. And I'm super excited because our journey has helped us grow so much, and we've learned so much from people, and that is why we're doing this. So we get to tell you how this all got started.
Yeah, we actually get this question asked quite a bit. How did you guys meet? How did you get started in this? So we'll just, we don't really want the podcast to be about what we do as far as business-wise, but obviously we're going to share some of it. I mean, you're going to know if you're listening, you probably follow us from those things. But this is an opportunity to at least give a backstory of how we got here today.
Yes.
So I'm excited too. I will go ahead and start. So I met Kailyn after coming back to Florida from Virginia. I came to Florida. I'll give you a little bit backstory. I came to Florida in end of 2010. Went through a relationship, ended up being here by myself. Then shortly after that, I met my husband. And then fast forward, married, have our first kid. We decided to leave Florida and try Virginia for, I think we ended up staying 18 months. Probably would have stayed longer if things had been different, but we missed home. My family's here, so we came back. When I came back is when I had the opportunity to go full-time in my business, because I had worked as a medical assistant for 12 years. Most of that time was in dermatology. And I was ready to go full-time in my business as a photographer doing boudoir. And so I reached out to people on Facebook and just sending messages, friend requesting people, because I was kind of new, back in town, new, and I didn't know a lot of people. I really didn't have a lot of friends before leaving either. I was mostly just had my family. So anyways, I'm messaging people on Facebook to try to get to know, try to find my community, reach out to the women that maybe would want to be friends.
Yeah.
That's how it was. What year was that?
2020, the beginning of 2020.
Yeah. So
end of 2019.
End of 2019.
Yeah.
Yes, way before COVID. It was end of 2019.
Yeah.
Or mid. I think I came back mid to end. Anyways, so I messaged a lot of people, and I happened to message Kailyn, and I don't remember what was the first thing.
I think we were just getting to know each other, and then you said, "What do you do for a living?"
Yes.
And I said, "I'm a hair and makeup artist." And you said, "Oh my gosh, no way."
Yeah, I've been looking for one. That's right. Okay, brain farts here. I don't remember history here. Maybe I should have kind of went back before we started this to get it all right.
Hey.
Whatever, we're going for it.
Yep.
So I was looking for a makeup artist because in Virginia, I had one, and it was like the same girl that I always used. And when I came here, I was like, I want the same thing. I was looking for somebody that would just be like my teammate, you know, where we could collab together, work together all the time. I didn't want to have like several different makeup artists. So I was actively looking for somebody like that. I think I had messaged a few pages. A lot of them didn't respond back to me. And then I just, through messaging women just to try to get to know them and be friendly, is when I messaged Kailyn. And when she said I'm a makeup artist, I was like, oh my God, I'm a boudoir photographer. And I remember thinking, I have been looking for a freaking makeup artist. I think you went like straight to my page after I told you I did.
So I was working with a few different photographers of all different kinds and just really dabbling in it because I had gone to beauty school and I hated it. I literally cried to my counselor because I said, this was a mistake. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think the salon is for me. And she told me, well, you don't really have to work in a salon. There are many different avenues that you could go down. And one of the instructors at the school dabbled in photography on the side. And she kind of told me about how she would hire somebody to do hair and makeup. And then I started doing my own research on photography. And I remember coming across, that was the first time I ever came across boudoir. So I was in beauty school. The first time I ever saw a website for a boudoir photographer. And I don't know them. This was when I lived in Phoenix and it was just one that came up. And I really think this was before it was really popular. And I thought, oh, that would be so cool for me to do like a shoot, not thinking of hair and makeup at that moment. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like how amazing would that be to have that as a job? It crossed my mind after I thought, oh, I want to do that as a photo shoot. And then I was like, that would be a really cool job. But I never really thought, oh, I should aspire to do that. I just kind of thought, oh, that's for other people. Like someone else would be better at that. And so I put it out of my mind, and then I become a mother, and I'm really looking for a side job that I could make work with being a mom and still use my education that I had because I was feeling really bad that I had gone to school and had student loans for something that I wasn't using. And I had modeled for a photographer, and she said, who did your makeup? And I said, I did it. And she said, you have to do this. And I was really nervous. I took the leap and I started in hair and makeup. And I started working with photographers right away in my hair and makeup career, which helped me really specialize in working with photographers and knowing their lighting and what they like and what shows up on camera and, you know, just those little like niches. And then I also learned I liked being assisting, like I liked assisting photographers and holding the lighting and just watching them do their thing because it was like two creatives coming together. But I had seen other people where they kind of had a team, and I did envy that because I thought, oh, that would be so cool to have a friend that you're doing this with and you can bounce creative ideas off of. But I wasn't finding that, and I wasn't finding somebody's style that I felt was super exciting to me and aligned with like my style. And I remember telling my husband, like, I just wish that I could find somebody to work with that loves this as much as I do, because I had worked with a bunch of different types of photography, like family, wedding, but boudoir was my favorite. And I thought, oh, if I could find somebody who does this, that would be perfect for me. So I was in that mindset right as Lynn reached out to me.
So when I reached out to you and you went to my page, I don't think I had like a lot of content on there yet because I was still building. But you must have seen something that inspired you. Oh, got you excited because I remember you being really excited to meet. I mean, I was too, but I think you were more excited than I was.
Yeah, I really liked the moodiness and the colors and just the sensual aspect of your photos. And I felt like the women were glowing, and it was, I don't know, I just felt like there was something so romantic and sensual about your photos. And I was like, if we're going to do boudoir, that's what I want to be seeing. And I hadn't totally seen that yet, or seen somebody who was like, okay, forget about everything else. Forget about weddings, forget about newborns, forget about, this stuff or that stuff. And you were really diving into boudoir at that time. And I think that is what really attracted me to working with you, was because you were dedicating yourself to it, like learning everything about it.
Oh, okay. And all the other ones were like, doing more than just
it wasn't
everything. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so I felt like I was super excited about boudoir, so I wanted to work with somebody who was just as excited about boudoir as I was,
Yeah.
Which I think is really exciting to find.
Yeah. I really, truly 100% believe you and I manifested each other into our lives, because I didn't say it out loud. Like, you out loud said to your husband, I want to find somebody that does this. I just kind of internalized, like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want.
Yeah.
To myself, I wish I could find somebody like that.
Yeah.
And then we found each other.
Yes.
And I still to this day giggle when I think about the first time you came into the studio.
Oh my God.
I'm going to tell you my side of it. So I just had her come over. I don't remember, did we have a client, or did I just have you come like,
no, it was
see the studio before?
Yeah, we were trying to meet each other to see if
it fit.
Yeah.
Because we had been just talking online at this point. We didn't even hear each other's voices.
Yeah.
Okay. So she comes to my home studio, which was at the time my mother's house. We were living with her, and we turned the Florida room into my studio, and it was awesome. I loved it.
That was beautiful.
And Kailyn comes in, and basically I'm like, hand out, ready to shake her hand. Hi, I'm Lynn. Nice to finally meet you. And she just busts through the door and is like, oh my God, I love this face. I'm just sitting there like, what happened to hello?
I know. I was so excited because I saw her passion in that room. It was like, I had totally forgotten that I had never met her. I'm a very ADHD person. I am that dog from Up, the squirrel. And I squirreled in that moment, and I was like, look at this space. And I was just amazed. And I was so excited because I thought, this girl really wants to deliver. She really wants to bring it all. And I can tell by this space. And it was like right up my alley of colors and the plants and the energy in there. It just felt right. And I just knew right away that it was a fit. It was going to work out, and we were going to do the thing. And I think we went directly into like a 2-hour conversation.
Yeah.
Not just like getting to know each other and just not stop talking.
Yeah. Our energy matched immediately. And I'm going to tell you, this space was small. I mean, it was just like a Florida room. It wasn't very big. I had a queen size bed in there with a portable wood wall in the middle to kind of split it in half. And the other side was like about 100 square feet. That's where hair and makeup was done. Plus, I would shoot on that side. And Kailyn was awesome. She would stay and help me move furniture.
I
switch up a set
of it. Yeah,
which was nice, because I was looking for somebody who wanted to be more involved and not just show up for and lead. Yeah, I wanted someone who's like wants to get in there and create and be a part of it and assist, because that's what I want. And I'm gonna tell you, she has become the best type girl. When she doesn't stick around for a session, the energy for me feels so different. Not that it's like I'm not doing as good of a job, but when she's there, I feel better.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of fun. And I think the fact that we enjoy this so much, and like, it just makes the client more comfortable, and then it just turns into girl date, and then you're oogling and ogling over the photos, and you're like shut the front door. You look amazing. Like, oh my God. And it's so exciting. I think the reason why I love to stay so much is because as a woman who has experienced their own struggles with their body and what they look like, and having body dysmorphia and being like, I don't ever look the same. Like, sometimes I like myself, sometimes I don't. What do I truly look like? And knowing that other women are experiencing that, like physically being in the studio and watching another woman like accept her body, love her body, be in awe of her body was one of the most beautiful things. And it was priceless to watch so many women go through that, of different ages, of different sizes, of different experiences. It's such a rewarding experience.
I will have to agree on that. For me, doing this type of service for other women heals me as well.
Yes.
It's almost like I am doing it through them, but also for me, if that makes sense. And I'm literally changing their energy before my eyes. Yeah. They come in, they're super nervous. I've had women come in and they're shaking. They're so nervous. And the first step is going into hair and makeup, which Kailyn is amazing at, but she's also really good at making them, like, that's the first step of making them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
She's the first point of the whole experience where they get to feel comfortable and invited. And, you know, I'm there too, but she's like hands-on in their face. Yeah. I make them feel comfortable.
I think it helps that I moved around so much as a kid. Like, I literally, when people ask me where I'm from, I'm like, I'm from all over America. Like, I've lived, name a place, I've basically lived everywhere. And I was professional new girl. Like, I had to go into school and be like, hey, like, plot my trade on and be like, I'm sitting with you. My name is Kailyn. What's your name? Like, even though I feel like a shy person inside, I had no choice. Like, if I wanted to survive, I had to like meet people. I had to go up to them and just be like, hey, this is me. Let's get to know each other. Let's talk. It's like, you know, and I've gotten really good at meeting new people and making them feel comfortable. And even if I'm uncomfortable, faking it so that now we're both comfortable. And so when people come in, I kind of do the new girl thing on them where I'm just like, hey, we've been friends for a long time and I feel like I've been training my whole life for this. So that is a blessing, and it does break the ice.
Yeah.
Which talking and loosening up and forgetting what you're there for gets you in a mindset of, I'm hanging out with somebody, we're having fun, we're talking, and then they look in the mirror and they're like, okay, I feel amazing. I look like myself, but I am enhanced and I feel really good about myself right now. And that leads them into having their session with you.
Yeah.
And then they get to see it. And that's where the changes are made.
Yeah. I will say it's interesting that you say, you know, you kind of were the new girl and that helped you break the ice with people. For me, it was working in dermatology all those years. You know, there's a lot of assistants or nurses that when you go see a doctor, they're the first person that you come in contact with. Some of them are super friendly. Some of them are a little quiet. I had to learn to not be the quiet one because I had, with the doctors I worked for in the beginning, they had me give a lot of education. So I had to be comfortable talking to people.
Yeah.
And in dermatology, they're coming for skin checks.
Yeah.
So they're basically down to their underwear in a paper gown.
Yeah.
And I'm in the room with the doctor doing their skin check.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to be comfortable with that too.
Yeah.
And it really helped me get out of my box because I was really shy as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped me learn to be comfortable and just talk to anyone.
Yes.
And also working in the medical and seeing like a lot of naked bodies from all ages helped me in the boudoir part because I really don't care what you look like.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to act weird I'm not going to say like, okay, you can go change in the bathroom. I say when people come in, you can change wherever you feel comfortable. We all have the same parts. We really don't care what you look like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing. Making women feel comfortable in a vulnerable situation which is getting half naked or even naked in front of strangers.
Yeah.
That is our biggest thing. And I think that's probably the most powerful thing that we do is everyone does feel comfortable when they come to see us.
I think that's one of the most rewarding compliments that people have given us is that they felt safe here, because you want your clients to have that look of safety, comfort that shows in pictures.
Absolutely. It'll show on your face if you are scared to death.
Yeah.
Or if you're still nervous.
Yes.
And I've done a lot of education too in this career of mine, learning how to make clients feel comfortable, learning how to pose. The biggest one is getting emotions out of people. Like that has helped me tremendously, because I can just tell anyone, or any photographer could say, okay, look at the camera, look down, breathe, blah, blah, blah. But if you're not getting emotions or really coaching them to feel and relax, it shows in the photos. The first thing I tell everyone, I have this whole speech when we start, is breathe. And I'm going to tell you to breathe throughout the session. And I want you to take a cleansing breath. And I always joke and say, like, don't do blow out the candles where you purse your lips, and don't do lion's breath where you like open your mouth wide and stick out your tongue. Just take like a cleansing breath.
Yeah.
And I cue them throughout the session to do that when I see them kind of tensing up a little bit, and it really helps.
Oh, yeah.
And it just helps ease the mind.
Yeah.
You know, we all take a cleansing breath when we need to just relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. I think another amazing thing is what's helped us is seeing women that have no confidence at all see themselves and cry because they have never, ever believed that being sexy was something that they were capable of. And that's really healing to us, because as somebody who has felt it and not felt it and felt it and not felt it, I thought, oh, I can't imagine never feeling like that. And it makes me feel bad to think that when I hear women say like, oh, I can't do that, or I'm just a cute girl, like I can't be sexy, or it boggles my mind. And I almost just like now want to look them straight in the face after doing this for years and just be like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Prove it to me, because I've not seen it happen once where somebody has come in and not been sexy, hot, beautiful, rocked it, like seen a different side of themselves and been amazed, to the point that some of them have cried, you know, to the point that some of them at the end of the session were like, okay, we've awakened a sex kitten.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that lived in there.
You know, the benefit of us working together is we both have a lot of similarities, but we also have some big differences. For me, I have been the plus size girl my whole life. So I have that point of view and can relate to the clients that come to us that feel like they can relate to my body type, and I can relate to them. And, you know, in feeling like I don't match society's expectations. I don't look like what society says is beautiful. And then we have women that come in that look like you, that we, the plus size girl, think is what we should look like, but you guys feel the same damn way we do.
Yeah. And they'll think, oh, they must be happy because their body looks like that.
Yes.
And I'm somebody who's experienced a wide variation of body shapes. And I also am somebody who has been clinically diagnosed with body dysmorphia disorder. So going through a lot of body changes and having body dysmorphia really is tricky. It's tricky. I was thinking about that on the drive here today. I was thinking, you know, when you have a baby and you gain the weight and then you lose it and your body's just going through all these changes, it can mess with you a little bit, because you're like, what do I really look like? Where am I at? You know, and then you think, I remember there was a time where I had more weight on me than I ever had, and it was hard for me to accept. And there was things that I liked about my body at that point. And I thought, if I could just lose a little weight here, and picking like different parts of my body. And my husband was like, you don't get to like go to the gym and decide where you lose weight. Like your body proportions the fat where your body is. So when you work out, you're going to lose your chest. Like you're probably going, I was very insecure about my small chest, but then I have kids and I get curves and I'm like, finally curves. And then I lost a lot of weight and I lost all of that. And it was very difficult because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm unhappy with my body. I'm very, very thin. And people would assume that, just because you lost weight, you'd be excited. You'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, I lost weight. But that's not always the case. And so I think we have a broad spectrum of ideas and things that we've experienced and perspectives to share on a wide scale of the spectrum of insecurities here. We cover pretty much all of it.
What just came to mind is it's not just society as in like social media, magazines. It's not just that's influencing how we feel like we're supposed to look. It reminded me of when you lost all that weight and you went to the doctors and what that doctor said to you.
Yeah.
Versus experiences that I've had going to the doctors and what they say to me about my weight.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to share that.
Yeah. I'd be happy to share. We're always I'm pretty much always open to sharing these types of things because I want to bring awareness of this. This is so important. A lot of women struggle with this. And I'm sure that there are women that are listening that can relate with what I'm about to say. I had drastically lost a lot of weight. I was probably in one of the worst mental states I had been in a long time, but my life was in like the best place. So I had like everything going for me, but my mental health took a nosedive and my appetite went to complete garbage and I've lost a lot of weight. I couldn't give you an exact number, but I lost so much weight that people would see me and they were saying, oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you sick? What's going on? Especially because in the past I have struggled with eating disorder issues and body dysmorphia. I think people were on high alert for that. So my everyday life, people were like, you've lost a lot of weight. And I started to notice it in myself and my features were changing. My body was changing quickly. And it was also adding to my mental health. And I thought, I really need to get into the doctor to just make sure that I'm not sick with anything, that it what's going on. So I went to the doctors and I'm explaining to him how I'm worried about this weight loss and how I don't feel like myself and I would be happier with more weight on my body and I'm struggling to eat and have an appetite and to put weight back on. And he looked at my chart and said, well, I'm not really concerned with your BMI. And I thought, you're not concerned, but I am. Sure, the chart says that I'm fine, but I feel better when I have more weight on me. I feel like I look healthier. I'm pretty tall. So when I don't have weight on me, I look much more thin. And I was appearing sickly to myself. So the chart says that I'm fine, but I don't feel fine. And he totally disregarded my feelings because my chart says that my BMI is appropriate.
And he felt like you looked fine.
Yeah.
You're thin, you're healthy. Mm-hmm. Thin does not equal healthy.
No.
Okay.
I'm happy.
No, I'm a plus size girl and I should say woman. I'm a plus size woman and I go to the doctor every year. I have my, full screens and everything. And I had this one amazing doctor. I talked to him about, I think it was shortly after having my daughter. I talked to him about wanting to lose weight. And I was saying, oh yeah, I want to lose 50 pounds, blah, blah, blah. He was the most honest doctor I've ever had. He's like, let's be real. You're a mom, you're working, like 50 pounds is probably not realistic for you. And you are healthy.
Wow.
he said that I was healthy. I've had other doctors in the past, like I went to an ENT and I remember overhearing him doing his dictation and called me heavy set. On his dictation,
Wow.
which is supposed to go in my chart. Like, I get it. They're supposed to describe that, but to use, I don't know, just to hear that and him to use those words really hurt.
Yeah.
That stuck with me forever. And then I had my, primary doctor who's like, you're healthy.
Yeah.
He never once commented on my weight. And when I talked about losing weight, he was like, maybe, you could shoot for like 15, 20 pounds, and he was like, this is what you need to do. Just eat lean and green. He never like gave me this crazy diet to plan, all these unrealistic things. He was like, he was like, be real. Maybe you won't lose it. Maybe you will, but you are healthy.
Wow.
I loved him.
That's a good doctor.
He was awesome. He left.
That's a blessing. Oh, man.
Because, a lot of the doctors are leaving around town with the changes, but I will never forget that.
Yeah.
Considering the past, how everyone would comment on my weight. And I'm sure there's a lot of women out there that can relate to their doctors commenting on their weight in a negative form. Yeah. And in my opinion, this is my opinion only, I am not an expert, BMI charts are bullshit.
Yeah.
They're really too relied upon, and it's not fair because we are all shaped differently. I'm tall, but I have huge hips. I've got an ass. And for me, if we went in the chart, I should be like 140 pounds. I don't think I would look good and 140 pounds with these big hips.
Yeah. And it doesn't account for even just as my doctor would look at my chart at that time, I was very, very thin. I wasn't eating. I wasn't doing much. I was really depressed and my BMI was good. Right. But then I started working out religiously. I mean, that was almost the catalyst. I was working out for a few months before I went to the doctor, and I told him that I was trying to work out to see if it would assist my appetite, because I thought, okay, I'm not moving my body enough. Like, that's another reason why I don't have an appetite. So I started working out for the sole reason to be hungry. And as I start working out, you gain muscle, you eat more, your body weighs more. The doctor would then look at my chart, and would he not say that my BMI is no longer in a healthy range if I'm putting on more muscle mass? Your weight is not just dependent on how much fat is in your body. It's
good point.
It's other things.
Yes.
So, and now my weight is up from where it was.
Yeah.
But I'm at probably some of the best healthy years of my life, besides when I was in high school running track religiously. So that's another thing to consider.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. When I was working with a personal trainer, she had me do this whole measurement thing where it measures your muscle mass, how much fat you have, water, bone density, all that. And almost like close to half of my weight was muscle mass. Like I'm very muscular.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big girl, but I'm very muscular. I've always been very strong.
Yeah.
So I like to say I'm not all fat. I have a lot of muscle too.
Yes.
Oh.
So I think in that regard, it helps us with the spectrum of women that come in and see us, because they feel understood by you, or they feel understood by me, or they just understand that we all are experiencing something different, because maybe they're experiencing something of their own. We've had clients that have issues that have had breast cancer, and their breasts are no longer what they once were. And that's a whole different type of body issue that we can't understand. Or women that have had diabetes ports, or dialysis ports, I mean to say. And having an issue like that is something that we don't understand exactly, but we understand that we're all just trying to love our bodies.
We're all experiencing the same general issues, but then we have our own unique perspective in what falls under that. Your body issues, my body issues, there are still body issues, but there are different aspects, different point of views of what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And once we started, at least for me, started doing this work and realizing everyone
so many different
is
kinds.
dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like literally every woman feels something about her body that she doesn't like. It doesn't matter if they look like they have the perfect body that society makes us feel like we should look like.
Mm-hmm.
They struggle with it too. It sucks. It really does. And so that's the goal with this podcast, is to do an extension of what we do in the studio.
Yeah.
We want to talk about these things. We want to invite other women to come talk about these things.
Yeah.
Because we do it on a daily basis almost with every client that comes through.
Yeah.
And we've had some really powerful stories come through. Like, it's almost like, what is it, the kind of the joke that the hairdresser and like the bartenders, where people open up and tell all their dark secrets.
Yeah.
Like they become like their short-term therapists.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same here.
Yeah.
And I'm honored that these women who are meeting me for the first time that day feel comfortable enough to share their most vulnerable experience they've ever had in their life and to share their story. It's so powerful.
We're so lucky to have this experience for ourselves too. And I think that's a big reason why we've wanted to start this podcast, is because here we are helping other women, and then we realize that they're helping us so much. And we're sitting on this gold mine of information and stories and perspectives and women of career with ideas that we could interview, that we could have on. We have so many wonderful things that we could share, that everybody could have a taste of the experience that we have, just of understanding and just gaining different perspective and feeling more together and more as one with all of the women. Yeah. I mean, this has truly made me more and more and more of a girl's girl every shoot that we do, because I get to know one more woman's life and what she deals with and the pain that she feels, or things that excite her and make her feel beautiful. And I go, oh, this person feels beautiful with this. And we get to know. And I think that's even expanded you from just boudoir into, oh my gosh, there's so, like, we can take the posing and the empowering poses and flow and bringing out people's beauty. We can broaden that from just boudoir. We can offer more now, but still in the realm of what we originally are here to do, which is just empower women. And that's exactly what we also want to do with the podcast.
Yeah. Even if it's just through inspiration, that's my biggest thing, the biggest,
goal.
Maybe. The biggest reward that I get is by knowing someone who has had a conversation with me, or saw a video that I did, or had an actual session. I made a difference in their life. I changed something. Even if it was really small, for them, it could have been huge.
Yeah.
Just inspiring other women, knowing that you're not alone is so powerful. For the moms out there, I know when we've all became parents for the first time, moms for the first time, we feel alone. You feel so alone. It's a huge change. Your identity is gone, and now you have this new identity, and you feel alone, and your husband doesn't get it. But knowing that other women out there get it and have been through that too is very powerful. Yeah. It took me a while to realize, like, oh, this is all normal.
Yeah.
And it's the same with our body issues or not loving yourself. It's all normal. We all feel that way.
Yeah.
But I love being able to bring a place where we can come together and support one another. Because that's what we need. We're meant to be, as human beings, we are meant to be in a community. Yeah. And women who are like-minded, not like the toxic friends or the negative Nancys. You need to, like, I'm not going to say you need to, but you should shed those people if if your friends are not lighting you up,
Yeah.
maybe you should consider changing the relationship.
Yeah.
And I've done that. I've shed people throughout my life. Friends do come and go,
Yes.
and the good friends, sometimes they may come and go too, but everybody comes into your life for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's for a short reason, sometimes it's for a long time. You know, I feel like Kailyn is here in my life to stay though, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was just thinking, like,
We've grown a lot together.
I've had a lot of friendships, and I've told my husband I sometimes I feel like I'm not the best friend because I've moved around so much. I sort of have, like, I'm okay with letting friends go, especially if like they're not serving me, and I feel so solid in our relationship. I feel like we have, in the environment that we're in, where we're constantly growing and we're inspired by other women. We take little pieces of what they offer us and their ideas and all of those things. And it has really built us an amazing friendship, and allowed me to have a more open friendship and to really share my ideas and to have a safe space to do that, because I had never really experienced a friendship like that.
Me either.
So I think, you know, it's a blessing in many ways, many, many ways. And I think for people to see a friendship like to hear a friendship like we have and to hear our stories is also a reminder that your tribe is out there.
Yeah.
Your friends, like you, it is possible for you to meet people that are like-minded, and for you to have that, and you deserve that, and you should have that.
My expectations for adult female friendships have changed too.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the younger version of me would reflect on like the friend where we spent every day together, we did everything together. Like I had that,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't last because you grow. But now that we're adults, we have family, the kind of friendship that I want is like what Kailyn and I have. You may think we probably spend every damn day together, but we don't.
Yeah.
We don't even talk every day to each other. But our friendship,
Horrible at texting back, so.
she is. Our friendship is kind of like a sisterhood
Mm-hmm.
where we could go 2 weeks without talking and then pick up the phone and we're right where we left off.
Yeah.
And neither one of us feel negative towards the other one
Yep.
because like you fell off the face of the earth for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you must not care about me because you didn't check in. That's not really what friendship should be. It should be, you know, we didn't talk, but I'm here for you. Or if you do need me, I will drop everything and come to you. You know, but if time goes by that you're not communicating or seeing each other, that's okay.
Yeah. And I think another benefit is we've talked so openly with each other that we know each other's hearts, and we know that when we say something, we're like, okay, we know where she's coming from, and we can like correct each other, check each other, and it creates a more authentic friendship because we're really being ourselves.
Yes.
Like we're comfortable enough to be ourselves and know that if we mess up, the other person's gonna be like, I know her and I know that she's growing and she said this and it really was kind of stupid, or she did this and I know that that's following a pattern of healing that she is working on or whatever, because I know there's things that I'm working on. And I just recently thanked Robbie and Lynn and my family for being there for me as I've healed from deep wounds in my life. And them just constantly reminding me and giving me, I guess what I would say is permission, or
the space.
This you would say it's okay for you to do these things. It's okay for you to say no. So that in that way I mean permission, but then also just even though it was annoying to probably keep reminding me over and over again, they did because they care about me. And you can find people like that. It's possible to have friendships like that. And when you do have it, that is gold. That's true gold.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
Friendships are relationships. It may not be the same as a romantic one, but Kailyn and I have definitely shed the insecurities that were there, as we've tried to navigate each other and understanding wholly who we are as people. we've shed those insecurities. So whenever things come up, I reassure her, it's okay. You don't have to be that way with me. You don't have to worry about this. And she has let me slowly be more vulnerable and open up instead of closing everything, because I didn't have friendships that I felt safe enough to truly be myself or to share deep things. And she's allowed me to do that. And I've allowed her to work through things and not feel judged or make her feel bad because she, didn't answer me or didn't, there was times where she wouldn't ask me questions, very important things that she should have, because she was scared.
Yeah.
And I let her have the time to figure it out on her own and reassure her this is safe. It's okay for us to talk about it.
Yeah. Because I think it's so important to find people that are willing to understand that we all have quirks, and if as long as we're working on them and we're trying to do better and we're always taking that next step, then that's a type of friend that you want to keep around.
Yeah.
So if your friends are going to mess up, but if they're working towards a better them all the time and you're both working together, that is priceless. That's a yin and yang situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're balancing each other. It's just a healing environment,
Yeah. I mean, we've all been burned before. Everyone's been burned by a friend, a relationship, or just a person that was an acquaintance, whatever. We've all have felt that. And it's nice to know that we can work through, her and I can work through those things and know to trust one another.
Yeah.
And if you feel like there's somebody, a friend of yours that you can trust, then go for it. Keep working on that. But if you have that gut feeling that they're not that trustworthy person, don't try to force something that's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Just be pretty in tune with things that are going on. But if it is someone who's like truly there for you, try not to let your issues that you've had in the past affect that new friendship.
Bingo. Yeah. Because I think really it comes down to us continuing patterns.
Yes.
Because it's no matter if you're not holding up your part, if you're not being vulnerable enough to be like, I'm going to try this new thing, even though it's really scary for me, it's really hard for me, like I don't really do these types of things. This is what's comfortable for me to avoid this or to do this or to do that. But your friends are like, hey, I'm a safe space for you to just be honest with me or to tell me your feelings or whatever. Seize that.
Yeah.
Fall into that. Try that, because that is that person helping you grow. And you can grow so much when you have an environment like that.
Yeah. And if you're not sure, start with something small and see how they handle it.
Yeah.
If you give them something small and they are careful with it, then try something small again. Yeah. If you give them something small and they totally burn you and you're like, not this shit again, then that's not somebody that you can be safe with and you need to move on.
Yeah.
But trust your instinct. And sometimes I'm learning a lot about self-sabotage lately, and sometimes we are getting in our own way of finding that growth, of finding those people, and we always want to assume it's them. Yeah. They're the problem. But it's
going to continue into your next relationship.
Yes. And self-sabotage is often looked at something as negative, and it's not. It's a way of us protecting ourselves.
Yeah. Self-preservation can be another way of saying it.
Yes.
But it could also get in the way of growth.
Right. So you want to look at it, is this me or is this my instinct of them truly not being a safe person?
Mm-hmm.
I love this conversation.
Yeah.
We kind of went a little down on this.
I think this just goes to show like that we had so much to say about all of this, and I
still our own experience.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not claiming to be professionals, but it's through the experience that we've had together and that we've had individually.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry to cut you.
No, I agree totally. Like, I feel like our idea for this podcast is to do exactly this, what we're doing now, to share these stories, to make people feel a connection with with us and get to know us so that they can see what we're all about and be part of our community, and we can help women find their tribe and have the friendships they want and feel good about themselves and manifest the life that they want for themselves so that they can live a happy life, because we know that it's possible. We've done it ourselves, and we fight for it all the time, and it's constantly changing, and we're constantly adapting and bouncing ideas off of each other. And we want the opportunity to share that with you and for you to be inspired. And maybe this inspires you to go home and, thank your friend for being there for you and helping you grow. Maybe you listen to this and you think, wow, this person has really been that for me. I'm listening to them and I never realized that this person was doing that for me. And I'm so grateful. Even if you just do that today after listening to this podcast, and that brightens that other person's day because they know that they've had an impact on you, and it just brings you a little bit closer together. It just brings a little smile to your day, a little smile to the other person's day, and we're just spreading the love and understanding and the acceptance and this warm hug that we just want all of us to just live this happy life. And it's not always easy, and we want to share that it's possible to pull yourself out of so many deep, dark situations, no matter how it looks. And we also can have some amazing guests on. We know some awesome therapists. So in the future, people have questions, or they want to know, or if they have questions for a therapist or questions for us, they could write in, or we could have guests that have come into the studio on to talk about their life, how they have overcome things. And it's just endless things for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Endless.
It's a lot. Like I kind of sounds like we were going to be wrapping it up, but there is one more thing that I want to share because it's like poking me.
Yeah.
I always get these nudges or these like intuition of things, and like I have to say it.
And it has to be said.
It does. So I just want to share one more thing that sometimes, okay, let me back up. I have done a lot of self-development over the years, and there has definitely been times where I felt alone in that self-development.
Yeah.
And it's because when you grow out of something, you're like, wow, I got through that. I'm at this new level now, and it's lonely.
Yeah.
Because nobody else has gotten there with you.
Yes.
And there's been a lot of times in my life where I'm like, and visually I'm trying to pull everyone with me. I'm like, we're heading to this great place and I'm dragging people with me.
Yeah.
But they're not ready to go. And so I've had to learn to let go of forcing everyone to grow when I grow and be patient and wait for them to catch up.
Yes.
I've experienced that with Kailyn. I've experienced that with my husband. Mm-hmm. And I've experienced it with other family members. And it's been a good lesson for me to learn to be patient in everyone else's growth as well. It's really hard when you're feeling like, but I know it can be so much better for you. Mm-hmm. But if they're not ready, they're not ready.
Yeah.
You can't force them. Just be patient, let them come. And they will match you, or they won't. They're going to catch up, or they're not.
Yes.
But don't let that stop you from moving forward.
Yeah. And you'll feel like, I feel like the more you heal yourself and you start to shed the people that you're thinking, okay, they're continuing on the same patterns, you will notice it and make deeper connections and have better friendships when you allow yourself to just shed those friendships that are continuing the same patterns. Then you open yourself up to the opportunity to meet friends that are ready to continue on the path of healing and are working on themselves and are having epiphanies and bettering and making action and change in their life.
Yeah.
Because you feel not stuck. And they say, be around people who you strive to be like.
Yes.
And I think that's so important,
I actually just did a post on my Instagram the other day about that.
Yeah.
When my early 20s is when I started working in a doctor's office, and there was this PA that I worked for, and he gave me advice that I have never forgot, because he grew up on a farm, joined the military. He was like, I was dicking around, didn't really care, like whatever. And then he started seeing these people in these white coats, and he wondered what that was, and then started hanging around them. And because he chose to be around those people, he decided to become a physician assistant. Before that, he was on no path to nothing, had no desires. And he's like, I went from a poor farm boy to being being a physician assistant.
Wow.
And changed his life. And he told me the 5 people you surround yourself with are who you will become.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so true. I did the same thing later on in my 20s when I decided I was going to leave Tennessee, where I grew up, because I was hanging around the wrong people. I was literally the only one that had a job. We were always partying. And I remember sitting in my friend's trailer, and there's nothing against trailers. Like, I owned my own trailer at 21. But I remember sitting there thinking, I don't want to be like these people. This is not the life that I want.
Yeah. I see something different for myself.
Yes. So I left the state to get a completely different experience, and it led me here. But it was those people. I was like, these people are not who I want to be.
Yeah.
And I have lived by that. And I've had, friends, even family members that are too negative, and I just put space between us,
mm-hmm.
And I wait for them to change and grow, or they don't.
And you have to accept that.
Yes.
Because it's their life, and it's part of their lesson and their path.
We're all here on earth to learn lessons.
Mm-hmm.
We choose, this is getting down the spiritual rabbit hole. We choose the life that we are going to live before we come here, because we choose those experiences. And it's crazy to think, well, why would I choose all these bad things that happened in my life? Bad things happen for a reason. They push you in a direction, We choose our parents before we come here too. And a lot of people probably think, well, why would I choose these parents? Because you wanted to experience this type of life.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go too much further down the spiritual rabbit hole. I feel like this is a whole other podcast.
Do that another day.
Yes. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm really excited for this whole episode that we did. We started out with just kind of talking about where we came from, how we met, how we got here. I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
I've got nothing else to share except that I hope you find value in what we're saying, that we give you some inspiration, because that's truly what we want, is to inspire other women, to give them a place that they can listen to stories that are related to what they've gone through, or they know that somebody's gone through something like that, or it just makes you feel like, wow, I actually have a better life than some people do, and yours don't seem so bad.
And a little.
Yeah, everyone has problems, big or small. For the small, like what I might think is something small is huge for that person, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you guys joined us.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening. And we're so excited for all of the future topics that we have. As you can see, we are so excited for future topics, and we hope that you tune in, because we would love to continue to grow this community and have more women and more growth, and maybe we can help other people make connections.
Yes, absolutely. If you want to follow us outside of the podcast, we are both on social media. We have Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram handle is Lynn D Photo, LYNNDEE Photo. And you can find Kailyn's at
Green Goddess, KKAI. And my business page is at resting beach face beauty.
I love that one.
Yes.
I could put them in the notes or description too, but we look forward to having more episodes, sharing more content and stories. And Yeah.
Hope that you join us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We encourage you to take what resonated with you from today's episode and carry it forward. And if you believe in our mission and the impact we're striving to make, please subscribe and leave a review today.